I heard myself.
Yeah, we'll see how this works. Brandon, welcome in, LGB.
Oh, thanks. Oh, thanks.
We're having a few technical difficulties here. I don't think they want us talking about the subjects that we have ready to talk about.
BP's in the house.
Yo, BP.
We're having some extra strenuous difficulties.
Can everybody here over on Podbean give me a heads up? Let me know. Hey. There we go.
BP says yes.
I got that.
Well, that's good. There's not much else going on the beam.
Is there? That kind of threw me off right there. I was ready to roll. I had all of my energy and synergy all fucking aimed and pointed towards this show.
Just cancel the show.
No.
Thanks for joining us, folks.
Fuck that. We're going. Maybe a shit show, but it's our shit show.
That's right. Damn right. Damn proud of it, too. I mean, hey, we show up for it, you know.
How's your coffee?
Oh, it's not bad. I'm still waking up without filters in my cup.
I thought you were going to be like Spanky and just blow me off again, like the debate.
Wow, really? I woke up in time this time. Yeah, the debate. It was a snoozer.
You snoozed. It wasn't for me.
I went back and watched it, though. It was pretty good stuff.
Hell yeah. I say, fuck it. Let's just get this motherfucker rolling. Hey, what's up? Podfather, you're all blocks and I don't recognize.
Yeah, he's all ghetto in there.
He is. Yeah, well, screw it. Here we go. Let's just rock this place out.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, assorted puppet creatures, and evil clowns. Prepare yourselves for another edition of the Slightly Doomed Show, presented and sponsored by the Beans and Weenie crew. Remember, to stay up to date with all the antics of Slightly Doomed, the Beans and Weenie Show is doomed, and Club Code Blue, all you have to do is become a member of the BWD community. You can find all the links on the boys' Linktree page, www.linktree.com/BWD crew. Tonight, the boys are going to take you on a roller coaster adventure that spans the fall and decline of the Democrat Party. Interestingly enough, it mirrors the story of the Roman Empire, with all the incest, sex parties, drug abuse, drunken debauchery, and insane dictators. But first, a message from our sponsor.
Today's show is brought to you by the Democrat Party, always looking for new ways to bullshit the American citizens just to stay in power.
This version of Biden is the best Biden ever.
She knows so long as she was 9.
And F you if you can't handle the truth.
President Biden has a photographic memory.
Here with us today is Hirsch Goldberg Poland, is still, he is not here with us, but he's still being held by Hamas.
He is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
But he's totally focused. He's very sharp.
They say he's sharp in meetings and so on.
Very lucid, very well informed.
Biden is stately, and he comes with gravitas.
There hasn't been, as far as I know, a single claim that Biden made a mistake. Ageism is an issue.
Surprise, surprise.
And it is a classic disinformation tactic. And I think the best thing that we can do is to prepare the American people for this false narrative.
And now for the show you've all been waiting for. Spanky, Slyly, and Scooter, take it away.
Oh, yeah. Calm down there, crowd. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Slightly Doomed Show, presented by the Beads and Weenies. Scooter, where the hell's Spanky? I heard he was supposed to be here, and he must be missing a limb.
Funny story. He texted me a little bit earlier, and he said I was deep-throating hot dogs this afternoon, and they didn't sit well with me. So our heartfelt prayers go out to Spanky this evening. You know, tomorrow is one of his favorite holidays. I'm beside myself that he's not here so he can give us the rundown of how many millions of dollars of shit he's going to blow up tomorrow.
Well, hopefully he doesn't blow up his other leg.
That could be something that happens. Holy shit. Oh,
now I have a question for you. You said he's deep throating hot dogs. Is he getting lessons from Kamala or from Harry Sisson?
I think it's a little bit of both of them. Up there in that part of the world where he works on a daily basis here in Green Country, you know, it's kind of sketchy. It's got some interesting people running around, and that was the message he sent to me. So I don't know what the actual facts are. I'm going to hold off and let him explain that, hopefully on Saturday night. Hopefully he doesn't deep throat any more hot dogs. And
hopefully his throat is better by then.
Talking about deep throat, I want to give some shout outs here. Mama Bear Tracy, welcome to the show. Hugs, hearts, everything to you. Shell's baby, all the way from the Silver State. Shaky, shaky. Glad to have you here. And of course, the pole dancer supreme, Big Rick. So damn glad you're here.
Shells, are you okay? Because it's damn hot out here. We're oh my god, we're melting out here in Las Vegas. I mean, it's gonna be 120. It could be 120 degrees this weekend here in Las Vegas, which would be an all-time record,
dude. How often do you get out in that heat? I want to know, the people in the audience want to know, how often do you get out and feel the sunshine? Feel the sun on your skin. How often?
A couple minutes each day.
That's right. You're like me. You're sitting in this nice 63-degree conditioned climate.
Well, we put the climate at 80 out here.
Oh,
80 degrees here actually it really feels well when it's 110 out.
No. That's that's bizarre. Sorry about my language. If the kids are listening, just cover their ears because I tend to throw expletives back and forth. Hey, real quick, before we get started, I need to make a phone call. After the debate and all the crap that's gone on with President Biden, I found this number. I'm going to make this, hold on real quick here. I'm going to make this phone call.
Okay, all right.
Okay, all right. Just hang on. Shh, don't say anything. Just wait.
It might be after hours.
Thank you for calling the Delaware Anonymous Senior Abuse Hotline. Please listen to this entire message before making a selection, as our menus may have changed or been updated. First, enjoy a message from our Heavenly Attorney General, the Honorable Bocephus Bubba Biden.
Hi, my name is Bo Biden, Attorney General of the state of Delaware. Here to talk to you about something that's very important to me and to my office, senior abuse. For every one of these types of crimes that's reported to our office, 5 go unreported. But 2 million senior Americans are affected every year. And 80% of these crimes are committed by family members against their so-called loved one. We need your help. Seniors need your help. So if you suspect that anyone is affected by any of these crimes, please contact our Elder Abuse Hotline.
If you're calling to report senior abuse by a stranger, please press or say 1. If you're calling to report senior abuse by a wild animal, please press or say 2. If you're calling to report senior abuse by a friend that is kind of a stranger, please press or say 3. If you're calling to report senior abuse by an estranged acquaintance, please press or say 4. If you're calling to report senior abuse by a family pet or friendly animal, please press or say 5.
Okay.
If you're calling to report senior abuse by senior that is a stranger and unknown to the other senior, please press or say 6.
Could be.
If you're calling to report senior abuse by another senior that is a so-called friend that really isn't, press or say 7. If you're calling to report senior abuse by a person who has opinions that you do not agree with or who has misgendered another person, and you're just trying to get even with them, press or say 8. If you are calling to report senior abuse by a family member or political party, first we must inform you that we have received millions of votes. Calls about a little old man suffering from dementia that lives in a big white house and already has a doctor that is really not an actual doctor providing somewhat sketchy care for the alleged leader of the free world. Please hang up and say, we are screwed. Now please enjoy this message from our Heavenly Attorney General non-war hero, Bocephus Bubba Biden.
Hi, my name is Beau Biden, Attorney General of the state of Delaware. Here to talk to you about something that's very important to me and to my office, senior abuse. For every one of these types of crimes that's reported to our office, 5 go unreported. But 2 million senior Americans are affected every year. And 80% of these crimes are committed by family members against their so-called loved one. We need your help. Seniors need your help. So if you suspect that anyone is affected by any of these crimes, please contact our elder abuse hotline.
To return to the main menu, press star 9, 7, 2, 14, 1, 77, asterisk, the picture of 2 donkeys lost in the woods, the letter gamma, and make your selection.
Oh, I don't know what selection to... Oh, they fucking hung up on us. Boo.
Unbelievable.
I was just trying to help out a little old guy in a big white house, and they fucking hung up on me. Holy shit. I don't understand. All right. Well, fuck it. I'm not calling back, but it's good to know that Bocephus Beau Biden is doing good things from heaven.
Well, yeah. I mean, bless his heart. I mean, he was a war hero and died in war, according to Biden.
Yeah, the streets of Delaware are tough these days, and then you get that cancer and pop, you're gone. Goes the weasel.
Mm-hmm.
Dumbass.
All right. Hang on. Before we get rolling here, we got the Podfather on here. Podfather had something he wanted to say. He has got an astute political opinion and statement for us. Podfather, let it roll, brother.
Well, I decided to give you guys a super chat. You know, the social media influencer Harry Sisson and our VP Kamala Harris, like most other politicians and showbiz performers, are good at selling their souls to the highest bidder and have to be willing to play the flute. Just saying.
There you go. Skin flute. Kamala's greatest instrument. What was the name of her book? Podfather, you remember what the name of her memoir was?
Shoot, I haven't even read her book. Don't even care to at this point.
Oh, come on, man. This was a great, let's see here. See if I can pull this up here. Fill in a little bit of that time there. Anybody. Sorry, Boogie, I didn't get to you, brother. Hang on.
An American Journey?
I thought it was How to Blow Your Way to the Top.
Oh, yeah, the truths that we hold. How to blow and...
Yeah, the truths we hold, blowing your way to the top. That's right. Kamala Harris. All right.
I like what Shell said, how I climbed the political ladder on my knees.
All right, Podfather, your mission, should you choose to accept it, keep us informed of every little pithy statement that's going on there in the chat, because... by God, we've got a tornado of information that we're going to be spewing at you. It's all going to be in good fun. We just want you to hold on for the ride. Right. It's going to be fucking crazy. But first...
Big Rick has got from knee pads to the top.
There you go, from knee pads to the top and climbing the ladder on your knees. Love it, Shells. But here's the thing. I got to check in slightly. Besides being 180 degrees over there and you're whining because you're in the air conditioning, what else is going on with you?
Let's see. It's hot. And it's really hot.
Okay.
But no, I mean, seriously, After last week's debate,
yes,
we are. I don't know where we are in the world these days. It's one of those things to where, after years and years and years of Joe Biden, over 50 plus years of him holding office, and knowing, us intelligent people, knowing that he was unfit from day one to be the president of the United States. Yeah. It's amazing to me how so many, and we're going to get it more in depth into the show, but leading up to this debate, you had every Democrat saying how Joe's the best, he's the most fit that he's ever been, and this and that and the other. And then the debate happens. And immediately after the debate, you have people like Pelosi. Oh, well, Joe had a bad day. He had the cold. Then it came out that, oh, well, the
international travel.
International travel is the latest one. Then you had, his study team for the debate overwhelmed him. So, and then you had, he's only functionable from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. Mm-hmm. So apparently we don't have a president in the other 16 hours of the day. And after seeing this debate, the whole world now knows what we have known for 3.5 years, that we don't have a president, and they can walk all over us because there's not a damn thing that Joe Biden's going to do. And that's scary to me. And now, after the debate happened, Nancy Pelosi, they cover for him right away. But now, my God, the slew of Democrats now demanding that Joe resign. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where were those same words? Because it's not like this has happened overnight, folks. So you've just been blowing smoke up our ass for the last 3.5 years?
How about the last 40 years? How about the last fucking 40 years? Slightly. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. You're on the soapbox. You keep going, baby. Just keep pounding it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's just amazing to. Ooh, hey, what was that?
They like the way you're pounding. Keep going.
They try to make excuses. They try to say, "Oh, it's a cheap fake." So I guess the entire debate was a cheap fake, apparently, because we all saw it for our own eyes. Even the CNN. Jake Tapper tap on the ass. Even he is like heavily like, "Hey, this guy's like, no, he's got to go." And this is coming from CNN.
Mm-hmm. Who?
The main supporting networks that have been spreading the falsehoods for 3.5 years. And so when you know that everyone, especially the media, the propaganda media that has kept you in power for 3.5 years, is against you, your time is done. And I've been telling you this for the last, week and a half, 2 weeks. Yeah. I said, you wait, within a week after the debate, there's no more Biden. And at this point, I think you, including all other conservatives, I'm hoping and praying he doesn't quit. I want him to stay there. I don't want him to quit.
Exactly.
Come on, Joe. Keep fighting for the American people. Stand up to your party.
You've been doing it for so long. Keep doing it a little bit longer, brother.
And honestly, I think he would have already dropped out, but they have nobody to replace him. They're done.
Trump would just mop up the floor.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and speaking of Biden allegedly having a cold at the debate, why was he even there in the first place? And if they want to talk about Biden having a cold, I could have probably had a better debate performance, and I just got a strep throat diagnosis today.
Well,
hey, I'll be all right.
There you go. You've been deep throating hot dogs with Spanky, but anyway, go ahead, Slightly.
Here's the saddest part of the entire thing for me.
Yeah,
is that you have politicians, you have the nation, the liberal media,
right,
backing this guy for 3.5 years, knowing that he's pretty much in the same state that he's been now that he has been in the last 3.5 years. And that if he was able to somewhat coherently get through the debate and not make a total fool of himself, they would still be backing this guy because they could still have their way with him and force their agenda through him. Now, this has nothing to do with the Democrats giving two shits about the American people. They care more about the political progress that they make in their agenda over doing what's best for the country and for the citizens of this country. And that's the thing that each and every American should take out of this, is that it's not about what's best for America. It's what's best for their political agenda. And knowing that Joe Biden has no chance at winning this coming election, Joe's got to go. We got to find some other dumbass that we can control. We can force our, I don't know, green climate bullshit through, and make sure that we continue to stomp on the American dream, and continue to fill this country with illegal aliens, continue killing the American dream, and worry about the dreamers. And that's what you're seeing now. That's where we're at. And I honestly think we're hours away from Joe Biden saying that he is stepping down. That's my personal opinion. I know, Scooter, you think that he's going to hang in there, that Jilly and Hunter, in fact, who has been, well, we'll get into Hunter later.
Okay.
But they've been at the White House, and they're not going to allow it. They want to continue having the power, and we'll see what happens.
Yep. Well, there is a lot to unpack there, and I got to take a couple of issues here. You said 3.5 years. I'm thinking I've been around long enough that the Democrats have been lying to the American citizens for about 40 years. And
well, how about just government in general?
Well, there you go. The uniparty. So it's really just a combination of the Republicans and the Democrats who are holding hands together saying, kumbaya, give us your money, and we'll tell you exactly what you need to know, and you don't need to know anything more than what we tell you because you're stupid. And if you were smart, you would have run for this office yourself and then taken all the money instead of me doing it. I mean, that's kind of the way I think they look upon it. But before we jump down that road, we've had a big week. We had the debate. Supreme Court came out big and strong, and then they got a little bit weak, and then they came out strong again, and then they said, fuck you, American people. So let's take a minute and let's see what the Supreme Court did. If you've been living under a rock, then you probably haven't heard about this. But here's the deal. The United States came out and they said that presidents have immunity for official acts.
Official business.
Official, yes. While they're in office, now there's always been an unwritten Department of Justice policy that a sitting president could not be sued, they could not be tried while they're in the office of the presidency. So that unwritten rule, or unwritten, I'm going northeastern on you here, unwritten and Worcester rule is what's going on. But here's the deal. Trump's got immunity for his official acts as president. Now, what the Supreme Court did is they sent the case back down to the lower courts in the District of Clownsville in Washington and said, okay, you guys figure out if his acts were official or unofficial, because if they're unofficial, he doesn't have an immunity. So now you're going to see a bunch of fucking Zumba and yoga positions with Jack Smith and Chutkin, the judge, trying to say it wasn't in his official capacity when he told those people to peacefully protest at the Capitol, and he created the insurrection. So.
Yeah. Well, and then there's the exculpatory evidence of like Nancy Pelosi. You know, Trump asked about the National Guard and she said no. And then there's that videotape from her daughter of her being on the cell phone, you know, talking about something. So looks like they're making a movie.
Well, they did. They made a documentary, and it came out, and Nancy Pelosi said, I have to take responsibility for all of this because I was the one she was in control. As the Speaker of the House, she actually controls
That's a dereliction duty on her part.
The Capitol Police. She's the one that tells the Capitol Police what to do, where to go, how to stop shit. And then Donald Trump, he said, here's the deal. We got 10,000 National Guard troops at your disposal. Use them as you desire. And she said, we don't need them. Not only that, Marion Bowser, the fucking mayor of the District of Clownsville, said, we don't need no National Guardsmen here either because we can handle it with the Metro Police Force and everything. And but anyhow,
after this Supreme Court ruling came out,
yes,
the Mr. Merchan has delayed the sentencing of President Trump.
Yes,
to back in September, if the verdict is going to continue, it's going to stay in effect.
Well,
so I'm thinking he already knows that Trump, this is going to go bye-bye.
Well, okay, so in order to convict Trump in the state of New York, they had to do a whole bunch of bullshit. They had to come back and create out of whole cloth a new interpretation of a state law that has to do with the federal law, and that the charges were actually based on a federal crime and a federal law, so they could get these other 34 charges of him cooking the books or whatever the fuck it was that they said that he did. And anyway,
but the whole thing is difficult because even to this day, we don't know what the jury found him guilty of.
Well, we know what they convicted him of. Writing a check and putting a wrong entry in a ledger. Of course, his signature wasn't on the check, and the money was stolen by the jerk fixer attorney, Cohen, whatever the hell his name was. And it was all handled through the finance department of the Trump organization. And Donald really never had a clue of what was going on. And he didn't say yes or no, pay her or don't pay her. It's just a bunch of bullshit out there because for some reason, they don't like Donald Trump, and they don't want him to see all of the information that's being hid in there that they're keeping away from the American citizens because it'll make them look bad.
I so hope that we get to learn everything.
Oh, we will. We will.
Oh, my God. You know what would be a dream come true? Would be a Donald Trump presidency with a vice president of, what's his name that just got released?
That just got released, Navarro?
No. He's in Australia.
Oh, Assange. But he can't.
Wouldn't that be amazing if he were to be a vice president? But I know he can't. But I mean,
I would. That would be fun.
Too much baggage.
Yeah, we get Assange up here. He knows all the secrets anyway. I think that would be fantastic.
Well, he wouldn't be afraid to flex his muscles.
No, not at all.
Would it be safe to say, Scooter, that Donald Trump unofficially is the first third-party candidate to be president? You happen to use the R for Republican by his name.
Well, I mean, he did that. He was calculated in the way that he chose the Republican Party because all of his life, living in New York and in Manhattan, to deal with those fucks, he had to be a Democrat. He's a perfect chameleon, but turns out Donald Trump is his own person. He's neither Democrat nor Republican. I believe he's fiscally conservative. Yeah. I believe he's a little bit on the liberal edges. I believe he's a compassionate conservative because, he's not going to institute a nationwide abortion ban. He's going to let the states handle it. I think he's probably a constitutionalist when it all boils down to it.
But according to Hillary, Trump is supposed to be Biden's puppet, but according to Trump, Hillary is the real puppet. Biden is also another puppet.
Well, Biden is Obama's puppet. Hillary was Putin's puppet because Putin really wanted it because he could have run roughshod over Hillary. He had her doggy style. He had her any way that he wanted, and she would just give it to him. I mean, and they'd wave because Billy would be sitting in the corner going, "Oh, get her, Vide. Get her. She likes it like that."
Well, Here's some food for thought. A good question: if Trump was Putin's favorite to be president, how come he endorsed Hillary in 2016 and he's now endorsing Biden's reelection bid for this year? That really ought to say something.
Well, I mean, it says a lot. Because the Democrats are the easiest ones to get shit from. They give you money. They give you anything you want. Did you know that at the beginning of Joe Biden's presidency, he constructed all these executive orders, especially when Putin invaded the Ukraine, and he said, "We're gonna shut out all the oligarchs in Russia. We're gonna close them down. We're gonna crush their economy." The thing he left out, this was kind of like our border bill that he came up with just, a few months back. The entire crux of it is we're still buying oil from Russia. Where does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen?
I'll get back to you. Hold my hold the coffee.
Well, we have a thing called the Keystone XL pipeline. If we were to get that one finished up and running, we'd then be telling like the OPEC nations in Saudi Arabia and Russia, like, to hold our beer.
Well, we were like that while Mr. Trump was in the office of president, and all of the things that he did to unleash the economic power of our petroleum industry, and let alone our economy. The thing is that we had more oil reserves than OPEC, than the oil producing Eastern, whatever the hell they fucking are. But anyway, back to
you have your,
community.
and I'm going to say you even have your environmentalist hacks, including AOC with her Green New Deal.
Yep.
They talk about like the Keystone Pipeline, opening it up, that we're killing Flipper.
Sure.
And this is the same AOC who talked about, fitting cows with catalytic converters to filter their farts out. And our friend Jeremy of Cummings' Culture had a good clap back on that one. How about we put a catalytic converter on her mouth because she's so full of hot air?
Exactly.
I'd like to put a muzzle on her, but
let's
go ahead.
Let's go back to the immunity, because this was funny, because the Supreme Court came out, made the announcement on, what was it, Monday?
Mm-hmm.
Trump has immunity. Here we are on down the road. And interesting thing, the justices of the Supreme Court, the Honorable Ketanji Brown, whatever the fuck her name is, and Sotomayor, came out, and they likened this ruling by the Supreme Court as to giving a blank check to whoever is sitting in the office of presidency, that they could go out and they could just kill people willy-nilly, poison the staff. They could have the Navy SEALs kill political rivals, and nothing would happen to them because they have immunity.
Well, and even speaking to your point, even this afternoon, it comes out that there's people saying, well, Biden could have the military go after the Supreme Court justices and kill them.
Yep. Oh, not only that, they could go. They were begging Biden to just unleash the military on Donald Trump. Just take him out. You've got you're immune. You don't have to follow the laws. Just go ahead and do it. The fact of the matter is, Biden doesn't follow the laws anyway. I don't know if you remember this, but he came out and he said, let's give all those poor students who got those degrees in gender studies and basket weaving, let's forgive all of their loans. $50 billion, $60 billion worth. Let's forgive all their loans. And
didn't the Supreme Court say, no, Uncle Joe, there, you don't have the power to do that.
Exactly. You know what Uncle Joe did?
What did he do?
He said, fuck you, Supreme Court. I can do anything I want. I'm the president of the United States. This was before he got the immunity ruling. So he doesn't.
Yeah, there's tyranny, my friend.
He doesn't. Yeah, he's a dictator. He doesn't follow the law.
Well, And I think Biden seems to forget that the immunity ruling doesn't just apply to Trump. It would also apply to him and to Obama, Bush 43, and Clinton. And we know that Jimmy Carter is in the last days of his life anyway, so but would he still count for anything?
Well, okay, so there's a lot of things that Jimmy Carter did during his presidency. Number one, he stood up the Department of Education, the most worthless department in the federal government. Don't know how many of you have children going to public schools, or as I like to refer to them, indoctrination centers.
Government schools.
There you go. The most worthless thing in the world. So everybody has a crime with which they should pay for. To be candid with you, I was kind of hoping that the Supreme Court would come back and say presidents don't have immunity.
Why?
Because then you walk out the door, and as soon as Joseph R. Biden is no longer president, by God, he's going to come to Oklahoma, and we're going to have a federal court indict him for killing U.S. citizens, for allowing the raid in Jordan that killed those poor individuals in the National Guard, and for
wait. Joe said nobody's died under his presidency. Remember?
We'll get to that. That'll be an exciting moment. We'll get to that. But for all of these things, for Laken Riley in Georgia, and for this young lady in Maryland that was killed by the illegal aliens that they allowed to cross the border not once, not twice, but about 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Biden should be thrown in jail for not protecting the American people. That's his primary responsibility.
Well, here's the thing. This is something that a lot of politicians forget once they get elected, is the fact that we are not subservient to the politicians. The fact of the matter is they work for us. And I don't know if you remember last week I was talking about we need to have that 90-day probationary period for these jack-offs that get elected to find out if they're actually going to support and represent their constituents. I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like that idea. I think we should implement that.
All right, just to put a fine point on this, and I'm not going to belabor this anymore, but everybody's out there whining, complaining that now when President Trump, because it almost seems like everybody is settled on the science, not like Fauci, but settled on the science that Donald J. Trump is going to occupy the office of president again for the United States. But here's the little thing that nobody wants to talk about. In the United States Constitution, in Article 2, Section 4, the president and the vice president and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. So what does that say?
That they can impeach the president.
That the presidents are not immune. They have to follow the law, especially in their official duties. They can't go outside of the law. They can't call up SEAL Team Beta and say, look, get old Beto out of Texas and get his AR-15 and have him take out, a political rival.
Right, but here's the thing, is if you have immunity, you'll never be convicted of any of these things.
But that's just it. He doesn't have immunity, and he didn't have immunity for the 3 times that they impeached him, for a phone call and for another phone call and for whatever hell else they came up with.
Well, from here on out, he won't have to worry about that.
They were going to impeach him over the insurrection, but they didn't have enough time, because instead of doing what all of the Democrats are warning you about, and him seizing power and getting the military to surround the White House and saying, I'm not leaving, I'm Donald J. Trump, and I'm huge, and I'll know what's best for the country. He signed over the keys to the White House to fucking Sleepy Joe and walked out the door and said, it's all yours, brother, you're elected, even though you cheated.
Yeah. He did.
He followed and he abided by the law. He took his cases to the court. And now the funny thing is, that's another lie that Joe Biden told. He said, no, all the courts of your cases have been to court, and all of those courts, they've thrown them out because they're all ridiculous. That is not true. There are still court cases that are making their way through the court system based on voter fraud in the United States, in Georgia, in Arizona, in Nevada, in Pennsylvania, in Wisconsin, and in Michigan. Still going on. But nobody talks about it. Mainstream media is not going to tell you about that.
That's true.
So, but anyway, we've got the Constitution that says that the president cannot commit a crime. If he does, he'll be held accountable by the legislature, the House of Representatives and the Senate. Now, the other thing is, I heard this a beautiful little statement. Now the president can just take money whenever they want and then just sign bills into law that do other people good. They can take bribes because they're immune to the law.
Well, they don't have to. I mean, Biden and the Biden family crime.
Biden crime family.
Crime. Yeah, thank you. I need more coffee. The Biden crime family is already doing that with Ukraine. I guarantee you that out of the billions of dollars that we are sending Ukraine, you got to know that the Bidens are getting a piece on the back end of this.
Oh, hell yeah. No, it's already been proven. As a matter of fact, they had to shut down Sam Bankman-Fried because of that the crypto debacle, because they were sending all the money to Ukraine. Ukraine was vesting large amounts of that money into Fried's Crypto.com scam. And then Fried was taking that money and donating it to the Democratic Party, specifically to the presidents and to the Act Blue bullshit, making a lot of people rich. So, but here's the deal. You probably don't remember it because you've slept since then and nobody has a fucking attention span longer than a gnat or a goldfish. In the Constitution, we have this little clause. It's called the Emoluments Clause. And before I get going wild on this one, titties to Frankie D and Shorty V. So happy to have you here tonight for this rant. Shorty's in the house.
Shorty's in the house.
And Miss Dixie. Miss Dixie's here. Oh my gosh, man. And then look at all these, holy crap, all these people over on Rumble. I'm scared to death now. Rumble's picking up, getting crazy. But
like a couple more good political statements that have come in since the last time I checked the chat. BP49 says Trump is a constitutionalist and Camel Toe Harris is a prostitutionist.
There you go. BP for the win. BP for the win.
And Boogie Nights even came up with this one. I have beat off a senior and sucked my way to the top and caused an erection. Sorry, insurrection.
All right. So to get back to it, anyway,
to you, Frankie D.
In the Constitution, there's the Emoluments Clause, and the thing is that the president can't take money from foreign powers or foreign corporations or anybody that's outside of the United States. They can't take money from anybody inside of the United States. Okay? So if a company wants to get a bill passed, they can't just grease the skids and say, here, well, maybe they can with Biden, but they're not supposed to be able to say, here's $100,000, sign this bill because we want to make some money. And it's all in the Constitution. So 250 plus years of settled law has not changed with the ruling from the Supreme Court. Presidents have always had immunity for their official acts. Now it's been stated clearly that they have immunity.
So you're telling me that the Emoluments Clause,
right,
that the Biden crime family has violated that now twice after a video you showed me earlier.
Oh, they several times. Are you kidding? But nobody is talking about the Emoluments Clause as it pertains to Joseph Biden. Matter of fact, as soon as Trump left office, that shit got shut down. It's like, shh, don't talk about that anymore. Our man's in power. We're okay now.
And maybe that's why they're getting together at the White House. You know, Hunter's over there. They're planning their exit strategy. I'm telling you.
All right. So I'm going to throw this out here. We're going to talk about Hunter being an unelected senior aide. So here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Everything they've accused Trump of being, a dictator, a king, anything else you want to throw in there, an authoritarian, or whatever the hell it is, you're witnessing it right now because you got Joe Biden in the White House, and look who comes popping up, Prince Hunter. Prince Hunter's going to help him run this country. Two reasons why.
Number one, he's the smartest guy Joe knows.
Exactly. Number two, he wants that pardon signed before anything else happens. He wants.
Hold on.
Yeah.
He wants to make sure that Daddy does it before he forgets to do it.
Well, he's just gonna slip it. It's just gonna be like everything else. Because hey, pops, I got something for you. Sign here. Don't read here. Just sign it, and then sign this check. And pops, can I have your debit card again? I need some Russian hookers.
Yeah,
we forgot about all of that shit. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's okay for Hunter to have all the hookers and blow, but God forbid President Trump go out and hook up with a prostitute.
Oh, my good buddy. Jester Dooms is in the house. He's hanging around on Podbean. So glad to see you, and I'm glad you're alive. And I mean that sincerely. You haven't blown off any limbs. What kind of glycerin and dynamite are you guys using to celebrate the 4th? That's a whole nother story. But we've got the emoluments clause. There is, in fact, evidence that Joe Biden has violated all of these tenets of the Constitution. Foreign emoluments, and I mean, there's a perfect definition to an emolument. It's an advantage, a profit, or a gain received as a result of one's employment or one's holding of office.
Now,
yes,
with its latest Supreme Court decision, and Biden making Ukraine fire the prosecutor.
Yep.
Apparently, that would fall under the official business of the presidency, I guess.
He's a vice president. No, he should have been impeached for that. We are not supposed to interfere in other countries' sovereignty.
Right, but what I'm saying here is that he was telling them as the vice president of the United States, therefore that would be considered official business, would it not?
It would be under the emoluments clause. He's getting an advantage. His family's getting an advantage. Hunter is still employed by Burisma, making $80,000 a month, not doing diddly shit.
But here's the thing. But now the Supreme Court has said, well, he did it as vice president, so he's immune to any prosecution for that.
I'm sorry. Here's the problem with that. He was not president. This ruling is for the presidency.
You got me there. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yep. I just want to give a shout out to beautiful Princess Kitty. Congratulations on your Sarah Bean. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, and here's the perfect song that I believe suits Hunter.
They tried to make me go to rehab.
No. We don't need no singing. No, don't be doing that, Podfather. Now, come on, work with us here, brother.
I'm only keeping it at a minimum.
All right, that's all we're gonna do. Now, switching gears, the Supreme
5 seconds or less.
Okay, let's keep it down to 2.5 or less. But the Supreme Court came out with another ruling on last Friday. And here is the ruling. It is the Murphy versus Missouri ruling. That's when all the attorney generals got together and they sued the Biden administration and said, look, you colluded with big tech, with social media platforms, and you censored American citizens on there. Do y'all remember that? Yep. They did
100%. I was kicked off of YouTube.
FBI, CIA, all working in there with Twitter and with Facebook and taking down posts.
TikTok.
They actually took down a fucking post from a medical doctor who knew what the hell he was talking about, saying it was misinformation. Crazy stuff. But here's the thing. Supreme Court said, American citizens and states do not have standing. They cannot bring a lawsuit against the federal government to prevent the government from censoring U.S. citizens.
Unbelievable.
So in that ruling, they said it's okay. Federal government, if you want Twitter to pull or X to pull down somebody's post, you just give them a call. You do whatever you want. Doesn't matter if they're a U.S. citizen or not. They don't have the First Amendment to express their views.
See, now I think there's other lawsuits that are in the pipeline that could change this to where the people that it has affected do have standing, and it could eventually change the Supreme Court's mind on this.
Well, okay. So there's kind of a ruling they came out with that kind of dovetails this, and this one's very interesting because you've probably heard about the Chevron deference.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Basically, what the Chevron deference was is that the Supreme Court said courts are not smart enough to tell whether or not the administration or the departments there within are doing the right thing by enacting rules against U.S. citizens. Or so here's what we're going to do. We're just going to defer to the departments and to all the people who are making these rules, saying that they know what's best. So what that got us into is that up in the Northeast, some fishermen were having to pay $700 a day to the United States government to make sure that the government could monitor the fisheries that they were fishing. That's where this case came from. The Supreme Court came back and said, you know what? Chevron deference is bullshit. We're striking it down. It was never a law. There's not a law that says OSHA or the Department of Game and Wildlife and Fisheries or any of these other fucking federal departments know what the hell they're doing. So now they struck it down so they can't just arbitrarily make rules like they used to do out in your part of the world in California and Nevada. They'd take away a farmer's land because there was a puddle that had a mud skipper fish in there that hadn't been seen for 700 years, but now it's a protected species, and we got to protect the environment.
God forbid, God forbid it expire and no more.
Yep. So the Supreme Court got rid of that. I was very happy. Yep, the fishermen won that one, and interestingly enough, the name of the company was Fisher. It was Fisher who won that Supreme Court case. But now that's going to kind of play into, since these fucking departments can't make rules that penalize American citizens.
That means the states will.
But it's always it should have always been with the states.
Right.
It should have never been it's federal overreach for these bureaucratic bastards to make these rules. But that kind of leads us to another place, because the federal government turned around and they sued the state of Texas, and they sued Florida, and they sued a couple other states because those states implemented laws that said that internet big tech companies couldn't do whatever they wanted with United States citizens' information. They were looking to protect the citizens of their state. So they put laws on the books in the states. People voted for them in the states and said, yeah, we want this law. But the Supreme Court came back and said, no, states don't have the rights to enact those kind of laws. They put the laws on hold.
Why? I don't understand it.
I don't either.
Why is it that the federal government wants to overpower these states? Because at the end of the day, if the states don't agree with anything, they're just going to succeed and be like, fuck off.
Well, the fact of the matter is the states, it's like a big Ponzi scheme. So the states want all of the influence. They want all of the power to roll up to them. So these deep state individuals that are sitting up in Washington, D.C. and sparsely scattered around the country, they want to rule your lives. They want to be able to tell you what to do. And unfortunately, the Supreme Court seems to be siding with them for doing some of these things. Now, the Chevron deference, that was a great win for citizens. Okay, so that takes federal government out of your pockets just a little bit. But how many of us are going to be facing that?
Not many.
There's not. There's really not that many. But now they're telling states that, you know what, you're not allowed to. It's not in the Constitution that states can enact laws for their citizens. The only thing in the Constitution that it says is that any rights and any laws that are not enumerated in the Constitution automatically go back to the states and to the people.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Roe v. Wade was taken off of the books, because it's not in the Constitution that it is a guaranteed. It's not under the Bill of Rights that you can have an abortion. You can kill a baby. It's not in there anywhere.
Right. Nowhere to be found.
That's why it's back in the states, and that's why the federal government is all upset, because their trillion-dollar industry with Planned Parenthood seems to be suffering.
I don't have any tissues, so I have no tears to shed.
Well,
or no fucks to give.
And then you also have like a lot of the political operatives going on TikTok and Facebook and Twitter X and mainstream media pundits, spewing the narrative that that women have, getting rid of Roe v. Wade, just outlawed abortion nationwide, but who's paying these buffoons to spew this misinformation and disinformation and misconstruing it to the point that people get the wrong information, when really what they're doing is they're letting all 50 states decide what is constitutional and what isn't.
Well, see, the thing is, if as the Constitution was laid out and what the founders wanted is that the states were allowed to make their own rules for their own citizens. Now, they couldn't make rules that would detract from the other states. So you couldn't charge somebody to enter your state or to leave your state, but they are doing it because we have tolls. We have toll roads all over the fucking place. Up in the Northeast, everything is a fucking
really
toll road.
Yes.
Holy shit.
But here's the thing, that's not to enter the state, is it?
You got to pay the toll once you get into Kansas. You got to pay the toll once you get on the Garden State Parkway coming out of New York City. You got to pay fucking money to get across the George Washington Bridge.
Well, that's if you want to drive.
Oh, well,
yeah,
okay.
you can walk and it's free,
Okay. Where? You got to swim across the East Rip? What?
Well, hey, wait. You say that now, but I see plenty of illegals doing the same thing for free. So.
Well, but I don't want to swim to either. If I get in the middle of the East River, you know what? I'm headed downstream looking for some Carolina action, maybe a little further south, a little Key Largo. That's if I get in that water, because I don't want to get out on either side. I'm just saying.
So bottom line, what I have learned tonight is basically we don't have the right to free speech online.
Nope.
That our states don't have the right to protect us.
Correct.
And the politicians can continue to spread, misinformation on social media, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Here's an interesting thing. Think about this. All right, so if you become a member of Congress, if you become a representative or a senator, there is a little law that they've written in that says they cannot be held accountable for anything that they say. They can go up and they can give a speech and they can disparage everybody in the world. They can tell lies while they're sitting up there giving a speech in Congress, but nobody can sue them. They can't be arrested for it. Why do they get immunity?
It's the boys' club.
Well, it is. And then they take that. The Democrats have taken this to an art, because they take it from Congress and they move right into mainstream media. Nobody in mainstream media questions them. This is what really ticks me off. And
it's not just the left, it's both the left and the right.
Oh, it is. It is. But I'm only familiar with the left at the moment, because we had the debacle with Joe Biden, and they're like, oh shit, he's really bad. He's got dementia. We got to get rid of him. They've known this for 3.5 years. They knew this before that, when he was the vice president with Obama back in 2008.
But they knew they could beat Trump at the time because they were going to cheat.
Well, they had it in, yes. and they've got nowhere to go, because they went to the ceiling on this last election. 81 million votes for, dude, there's only 165 million voters in the United States. And that number is going down because our population is decreasing.
Well, our legal population is decreasing, yes.
But the illegal population, that's right. That's right. So hopefully we haven't scared you off with all these Supreme Court decisions, and that really wasn't what we wanted to talk about on this show. So I think we need to turn to the fun stuff, a little politics.
Oh yeah, oh my God, this yeah.
You ready to get this on? Let's
like
get it on. Let's get it on. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now back to the fun of politics. Here we go. I just want to bring to your attention 12 days before the debate. Here's a little montage of what mainstream media was out there telling you. Take it away, you big jerk.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden is the best Biden ever.
She knows so long as she was 9.
In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been.
President Biden has a photographic memory. His understanding and mastery of a complicated geopolitical situation is remarkable.
He is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie?
She's dead.
They're sitting, 2 feet from him across the table, and he was, intense.
Have trouble walking sometimes? Yeah, so did FDR. He wanted GD war.
But he's totally focused. He's very sharp.
They say he's sharp in meetings and so on.
Very lucid, very well informed. Biden is state lead. He comes with gravitas. There hasn't been, as far as I know, a single
Scooter. They do not have sound on Podbean.
Ageism is an issue. Americans have a rich history.
No sound on Podbean.
Holding people's physical characteristics against them. Okay, you have African Americans.
He's older. That doesn't mean that he is unfit, and there's a lot of ageism there.
Now, this age attack, this obsession by the right, Joe Biden may not be able to speak for himself the way that he used to.
They want to think to take on government if we get out of line, which they're...
Oh, you guys need to jump over to Twitter. You need to jump over to Rumble because this is great information. I'm so sorry. We had a little bit of technical difficulties earlier this evening. It seems that Podbean has upgraded their interface. Why? Because they're jerks. Yeah, because they're jerks. So what we had to run through here, just to give you a little bit of technical insight on this bullshit, is we had to move to a different browser to use it. Now, the problem with the browser is that it only allows one tab to take command of the fucking sound. So that is unfortunately why you're not hearing, and that's going to suck.
Unless you go to Rumble.
Go to Rumble.
Yep. Rumble or
Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, or X. Ladies and gentlemen, check us out on there. If you need to find us on there, you can run over to linktree.com/BWD crew. And that will get you to the video feed. And hopefully Podbean fix this bullshit. And we'll be back in the saddle Saturday night with the Beans and Weenie show is doomed with everybody on board, unless Spanky is deep throating more hot dogs, but
maybe Spanky and Jester are deep throating hot dogs together.
No, Jester's working like 87,000 hours.
Too bad Mayor Crazy isn't.
He's been sequestered. Yeah, he's been sequestered in prison. So Jester, you need parole.
I know the feeling.
Let's see. So, yeah, we got a few.
Back to the video.
We got a few people jumping onto Rumble, and we got some more people jumping on. Rick still can't hear it. What, Rick? No, it's because
that's because it's paused.
It's paused right now. So let's pick this back up.
There's talking again about and that's him lying around.
I think people should be speaking up for Joe Biden.
Americans and reporters in the media are just judging him by a physical appearance, and it's horribly unfair. Age is an asset.
He showed exactly how with it he is.
The flip side of this coin is that he has a tremendous amount of wisdom and experience.
Have you heard any concerns from anyone who has met with President Biden about him seeming a little slower?
No.
More wild speculation from a bunch of people who have probably never been in a room with Joe Biden and certainly don't have medical degrees that I'm aware of.
You don't get paid for performance to be president. You don't. The job is not a job of endurance. I don't see Donald Trump out bike riding like Joe Biden.
It's the Hillary's email. All they have is that he's old.
He can clear a dementia bar, and that's probably a win.
The media are not fair, and they're getting less and less fair, and things are frightening. You have Wall Street Journal running a horribly sourced piece saying that Biden is unfit.
Dubious Wall Street Journal report about the president's acuity.
Shoddy story by the Wall Street Journal questioning Biden's mental fitness.
Wall Street Journal story had a lot of flaws, as you said. But Sinclair, they didn't do any original reporting. They didn't follow up. They didn't do any work.
Here with us today is Hirsch Goldberg Poland is still, he is not here with us, but he's still being held by Hamas.
But a huge part of the Mueller report talks about Russian disinformation tactics. And one of the themes this election cycle is that Joe Biden is too old to lead. And so everyone is seizing upon this. And it is a classic disinformation tactic. And I think the best thing that we can do is to prepare the American people for this false narrative.
Cheap fake.
That's it. Yep, that's a cheap fake, ladies and gentlemen. Don't believe your lying eyes.
So that's all you heard before this debate.
That was 12 days before. 12 days before. But
so then we had the debate, right?
Then we had the debate. Yes, we did.
And what are people saying after the debate?
Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? You got two camps. So you've got the Democrats in spin mode, and you've got the Democrats in panic mode. So let's take a look here. We'll take a look at both sides of it. So we jump over and we find out Tim Ryan, representative from Ohio, Democrat, he was the first one to get out there. So his career is over as we know it, because he's the first one that jumped out there and said, rip the Band-Aid off, hand the baton off to Heels Up Harris, and just get on down the road there, big dude. You don't need to be doing this. But on the other side of the coin, you got Donna Brazile. Do you remember Donna Brazile?
Yeah, she was Hillary's main go-to gal.
That's it. She was the go-to gal that snuck the questions to Hillary, and she still couldn't fucking answer them.
Well, and that's the same Donna Brazile who on Fox News told Romney McDaniel to go to hell on live TV.
There
Remember
you go.
that?
Well, Donna Brazile at the current moment is she's supporting Joe Biden. So that's a big deal.
That tells you all you need to know.
Well, that's it. That's racism right there, 101. If Donna Brazile supports him, then by God, everybody else should be supporting him. That's the way that works. But the funny thing is, all right, you got the DNC chair, which is it's his job to support Biden. Jamie Harrison. Don't even know who the hell is this guy, because usually you get some politician to run your committee, your
right, your campaign.
Who is? Anybody know who this Jamie Harrison person, chick, dude?
No.
How do they identify? What are their pronouns?
He, they, them.
There you go. Well, he's still
no
riding,
idea who this person is.
Still riding with Biden. And then here's the fun thing. Now, this was most interesting to me because a senior advisor to Joe Biden, Miss Anita Dunn, and her husband. His name is Bauer. Don't know why they don't take each other names, but she went on MSNBC and said, here's the deal. Joe Biden ain't dropping out. He's going to win the race. Not more than 1 hour later, the White House had put out rumors that she's getting axed because she's the one that partially fucked up this debate.
So, how did she fuck up the debate?
I don't know. She's an advisor to Biden. I don't know how you.
Oh yeah, she didn't do a good enough job prepping him.
That's it. The naps weren't long enough or some shit. Now circle around, because the lifeblood of a campaign is money, and the only way you continue a campaign is if you receive those donations from those gullible people. Right? You with me so far?
I'm with you. I'm following. I have a feeling I know where this is going.
Okay. Well, CNBC is reporting top Democratic fundraisers sound the alarm after Biden's debate performance. They are fucking jumping ship faster than the rats.
Well, and here's the thing, Scooter. I was reading an article the other day that Joe Biden, when he goes to these donor parties,
yes,
where all he has to do is speak for 10 to 15 minutes, he still uses a fucking teleprompter.
Yeah.
He can't speak off the cuff.
And it's not for 10 minutes. It's for 2 to 5 minutes because they cannot have him stand up there that long. It's too late at night. It's past his bedtime. They got to get him the good juice in his arm so that he can wake up the next day and remember who he is.
Unbelievable.
Now,
here's the funny. Are they afraid he might be searching for his Congresswoman friend Jackie, who died in the car accident? Remember that one?
That's true. Well, that's true. But here's the funny thing. Okay, so everybody knows on here that my mother suffers from dementia and Alzheimer's. And every single day my mother wakes up, she doesn't know where she's at. She doesn't know who I am. She doesn't know who her family is. And it's something that I deal with every day. I let Mom watch the debate.
Oh, did you?
I did. I played it back for her. She had the best line out of the whole fucking thing. She looked at me and she said, "This guy's stupid. He can't complete a sentence. This guy's stupid." I was like, yeah, you're my mother.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Holy, I wish I would have recorded it because that would have been great. This guy's stupid. Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's a great
I think if you played it back for her again and she was to say that, then you would have it for a future episode. But I bet John DeVito's dad, who sadly passed away earlier this year from his dementia episode, I imagine, Ralph would be very proud of your mom.
Well, I appreciate that, but that just that bring everything home because 98% of the time she doesn't know who she is, she doesn't know where she's at.
Bless her heart.
But by goodness, she knew that Biden was stupid. And that's not language that my eloquent, wonderful thespian mother normally uses. But by God, she came out with it. And I was like, hell yeah, you're right, Ma. That's the way it goes, lady. She knew it. But anyway, the fundraisers, the people who have all the money are jumping ship. And interestingly, one of the media propaganda outlets ran a story. And they said, Joe Biden has outraised Donald Trump. That story,
really?
That story disappeared. It's gone.
Oh, yeah, it's gone.
Can't find
it. Did they pull out?
I don't know what the deal is, but they're not like Spanky. They don't know how to pull out. but the problem therein, how did he raise this money? Everybody saw this debate. Why are they giving this man money?
I have no idea. Even if I knew in the past 3 years that I've been giving him millions of dollars to get my way and get things passed that I need to get passed.
Right.
I know in my heart there's no way this guy's going to win. So why the hell would I give him another dime?
Well, exactly. And that brings us back to the point that the mainstream...
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'd be screaming at the DNC, say, "Give me another fucking candidate that I can get my way with. That has a chance."
You your money back.
I'd be asking for the money back.
Right.
You write that check back to me, and because you guys suck. But the problem is, and it's the Democratic way of life. It's the good old boy methodology of where they take care of their own. And they will go to the ends of the earth to take care of their own, no matter, even if the candidate is dead. In Pennsylvania, they had a Democratic state senator, I don't know, BP, I don't know if you know about this one, but they kept that son of a gun on the ballot, and they elected him. They elected him. He's dead, died of cancer, Poor guy, but they're gonna let him serve out his term because you don't need representation. You just need to do what we tell you to do, and that's the way it's gonna be. But more interesting, we've got a lot of things going on in the media right now. The Democratic governors are having a meeting with Biden this evening, and there's speculation that they're going to tell him, "You need to go, son. You need to hit the road, brother."
And there's nothing new on that yet. No news, no breaking news on that.
Nope. I'm waiting for that to happen. But here's where I want to get to the crux of it. So for 3.5 years, you see that everybody's been lying to the American citizens.
Mm-hmm.
The Democrats that are in power, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Raskin, whatever the hell his name is, fucking Adam Pencilneck out in California, Shifty Schiff.
Mm-hmm.
They've all been lying to Joe Biden he's the best guy for the job. He knows what he's doing. We're going to support him because he's going to make our lives better. When they should have been saying he's just going to make us richer. Maxine Waters, I haven't heard a thing from Maxine. She got suddenly quiet.
Mm-hmm. She's got enough problems in California to deal with.
Well, she doesn't even live in her own damn district. She won't go in there because Compton's too close. But if you know L.A., then you know where her district is now. But here's the deal. They've been lying for 3.5 years. But how long has this really been going on? I mean, how?
Decades.
Yeah, decades. Let's go back a little bit farther than decades. I tell you what, this is going to be very interesting. I've got an interview that was done back in, I don't know, I think this was 2008. 2008, okay. This interview with Joe Biden. Listen to this, folks.
Your son being hired right out of law school by a big company here in Delaware that is in the credit card business, MBNA. He got about $100,000 a year, as I recall. You received $214,000 in campaign contributions from the company and from its employees. At the same time, you were fighting for a bankruptcy bill that MBNA really wanted to get passed through the Senate, making it much tougher for everyone to file bankruptcy. Among other things, you couldn't, in fact, claim that you had a problem because of big medical bills. You voted against an amendment that would call for a warning on predatory lending. You opposed efforts to strengthen the protection of people in bankruptcy. This has been an issue that you've heard about before. Your son was working for the company at the same time. In retrospect, wasn't it inappropriate for someone like you in the middle of all this to have your son collecting money from this big credit card company while you were on the floor protecting its interest?
Absolutely not. My son graduated from Yale Law School. The starting salary in Wall Street was $140,000 a year if he went to lawyer. Options he had. He came home to work for a bank. Surprise, surprise.
Meet the press, 2008.
First thing first.
Yes.
Did you notice a difference in how he spoke back in 2008 versus how he's speaking now?
Well, he's still mumbling, but he's mumbling clearer and with more volume.
Yes.
Yes. And that was back in 2008. Well, gee,
that's like Burisma all over again.
That was Burisma. Because that's exactly what happened. He got more than 10%. He got $214,000 in donations from MBNA, credit card company headquartered in Delaware. And he's the one that made it more difficult for United States citizens to declare bankruptcy.
That's a man right there that's working hard for the American people, isn't it?
That's correct. Hey, you got high medical bills. Did you have that heart valve replacement? Now you can't afford to eat, live, or do anything? Well, you can't file bankruptcy because Joe Biden made sure of it.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing.
Oh,
no, nothing wrong. But
it'd be fine.
Yeah, no. So that goes all the way back there. But let's go back a little bit further. Let's just let's take a little trip down memory lane. So most of you are probably not old enough to remember, but Mr. Joseph Robinette Biden actually campaigned for the 1988 presidential election. He declared himself as a candidate, and he came out, raised money, did all kinds of good stuff. And then the young man had to shut his campaign down. Why did he have to shut his campaign down? Because he got caught lying. Shocking. Yes.
Plagiarism allegations, too.
Well, here's the thing. During his first presidential run in 1987, Mr. Biden said he went to law school on a full academic scholarship. He bragged that he ended up in the top half of his law school class and insisted that when he graduated with 3 degrees from the undergraduate school.
I think that's a bunch of bullshit.
That is, it's all bullshit. Turns out he went to school on a partial scholarship, ladies and gentlemen. And in his class of 85 law students, he was ranked at 76th. He was at the bottom.
Oh, he's confusing the top and bottom.
That's what it was. He misspoke.
Yeah.
And the other fact is, the only undergraduate degree that he had, it was 1. It was political science. That's it. 1, not 3 degrees, not a full scholarship, and 76th out of 85. So that's all the way back in 1987. Some brilliant mathematician. Tell me how many years ago was that? Just out of curiosity. Anybody? Crickets?
Sounds like eons ago, but I'll say this about Biden. He certainly, back then, and still knows how to talk out of both sides of his mouth.
Well, it's 37 years ago. 37. Check my math. Just did it on the top.
Wow, and I'll be 40 in October, of all things.
So yeah, this was back before you guys actually were born or really, wise to the ways
I was
of the
in
world.
diapers.
That was in 87. All right. So here's the other thing. So that Biden campaigned from his basement in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow managed to win the 2020 election. But here's the things that people forgot to tell you. Here's the deal. While he was campaigning for presidency in 2019, Mr. Biden described how he had traveled to Afghanistan to pin a silver star on a Navy captain for retrieving the body of a fellow American from a 60-foot ravine. You know what? God bless those military folks. That was fantastic. I applaud them. Yeah.
But who is he to go pin a soldier?
Well, at that time he was still the vice president.
Oh, he was the vice president. That's right.
He was still the vice president. But here's the deal: that didn't really happen that way. Turns out it was an Army specialist, not a Navy captain, who had rescued his comrade. The former President Barack Obama, not Joe Biden, awarded the soldier the Presidential Medal of Honor and not the Silver Star. How the fuck do you get those details wrong?
Dementia Joe?
There you go. But it's not even that bad. While he was campaigning several times, when he was running up against Hillary Clinton in 2016 and back in 2008, he made the statement that he was arrested during the civil rights movement. You remember that marching across the Pettus Bridge in Alabama, Selma, and all that stuff? He was arrested because he's a civil rights activist, man. He's right there. If you're not black, then you don't know who you're voting for. Pretty much is what.
The same guy that doesn't want his kids in the racial jungle.
That's it.
I'd like to see some film footage for proof to see if he truly was there and not lying. Otherwise,
they've already done the discovery. Here it is. There's no evidence he was ever arrested during a civil rights protest.
Yeah, I've never heard of him being arrested.
None. And with that, my good man, I'm going to have to take just a short break. So I'm going to allow you to crank it out here a little bit further there, my good man.
All right.
I shall return shortly. You guys keep it clean.
We'll keep it clean. Keep going, yeah. So there's also there are just a small samples of those are just a few samples of the lies told by Biden. And what else do you think he's lied about there, Eric?
Well, I guess the list has just grown too long. I mean, I guess it's just tiresome for us to have to, read that list.
Well, I have a couple more for you. How about participating in the Hunter and James Biden's business? He's always denied that. He's never participated one bit in that. Also, let's talk about issuing orders to the Biden DOJ to pursue his political opponents. He denies knowing about the proceedings, and then colluding with the Central CIA to influence the 2020 election.
Mm-hmm.
New information shows CIA contractors colluded with the Biden campaign to discredit the Hunter Biden laptop story. I mean, remember, you had 51 people swear that it was all Russian collusion. It was fake news, the Hunter Biden laptop.
Well, then you have journalists like Catherine Herridge of CBS News, and then other journalists like Cheryl Atkinson, that like Honeybee knows her from college, and Laura Logan, who come across as very reputable, credible sounding journalists for us, but then and government entities and their bosses at the news organizations, most notably CBS, went down hard on them.
They did.
And then Claire Shipman of ABC News being married to former White House Press Secretary Jay Carney, and then one of the Rhodes brothers worked at CBS News, who was also associated with the Obama administration, and David Gregory's wife, being a Democratic political operative. Like does that? If that doesn't say conflict of interest, I don't know what conflict of interest is.
Yeah, there's a lot of conflict of interest going on in the government, and both sides, not just on the left. But
I like what BP just said. Did they use the Maury Povich lie detector test to prove these things?
I think so, because most of the shit that comes out of Biden's mouth is a lie. And it's weird. It's interesting to me that you take a look at everything the Democrats swear that's going to happen if Trump were to become president. Every single thing that they list are things that President Biden and the Democrats are all about, and they have done.
Well, and I'm going to point out a couple more things. Like, there's that caught on video moment where Biden talked about, well, son of a bitch, they fired the prosecutor. Is Biden going to come out and say that wasn't him who said those things, or he's going to try to tiptoe around and saying, oh, I didn't mean it that way? And then, and I think another thing that Democrats and rhino Republicans, looking at Biden, forget is that when you point the finger of blame at somebody, just remember you got three more fingers on your hand pointing right back at you.
Yeah, exactly. And so it'll be interesting. I've predicted that Biden's going to bow out. I think welcome back, Scooter. I think he's going to just bow out because he's got too much shit going against him. I know Scooter doesn't agree with me. He thinks that there's too much knowledge. There's too much at stake for the Biden family, the Biden crime family, to vacate the White House. And either way, and like I said, I'm at the point now to where I hope he doesn't go anywhere.
I wonder if at this point Biden's trying to make the Clinton crime family look like child's play, or but if you look at Clinton's crime family, if you think Bill is bad, they say Hillary is way more ruthless than Bill was and still is.
Wait a minute. Okay, first off, I just have to report that Mom let me know she made the report that the whores are not coming.
Thank God. And is she still voting for Trump?
Yes.
Okay.
She's not voting this year. Are you kidding? She doesn't possess those faculties to vote. But we don't need to. We're in Oklahoma. It's a Trump state. But I don't even question the things that she says to me anymore. So the whores are not coming. We're good there.
Whores or horses?
Horse.
Oh.
Horse.
Are they good-looking horse?
I don't know. I don't know how to interpret that. But
did you let her know that she's correct, that spanking will not be over?
Okay. She remembers Spanky. Of all freaking people in my life, she remembers him, even now.
Well, it's hard to forget a guy without a leg.
Drives me up the wall.
Facts.
Well, sorry, BP. They're not coming. Ma told me. She reported. She got the message. They're not coming. We're all good. So I don't agree with you on a lot of your things that you just said.
Unbelievable.
That's okay. I still love you, but I just don't agree with it.
It's okay because by next Wednesday, by the time you get together again, just the two of us, he'll be gone.
No. Nope.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Shells came up with a good one.
See, you said...
And I'm right about
Shells,
a lot of things.
I'm not even going to
happen.
dignify that. I'm not. We're not talking nurses here. Oh, not talking nurses. But anyway, okay. So you mentioned William Jefferson Clinton. He has to protect Biden because Biden's Department of Justice possesses all of the files that will implicate him in pedophilia on Epstein Island. You remember, none of those clients, what Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted for, child trafficking.
Is she still alive?
Who knows? She's in Guantanamo, probably.
Probably.
Nobody knows who those people that she was trafficking them to. As a matter of fact, even when King Charles has got cancer now, his brother, the prince, you haven't heard anything else about that, have you?
No.
Seems like Prince Andrew just disappeared off the face of the earth at this point.
Just went to ether. No, he's still living in the home that he can't pay his brother for. That they were gonna, and Fergie is living with him, his ex-wife. This
Convenience relationship.
It's a strange web that they're weaving over there. You haven't heard anything about him. Clinton's got to protect Biden because Biden's Department of Justice holds all of those files that'll implicate William Jefferson Clinton, and he'll wind up in jail because it was not an official act when he was raping children. It was an official act when he was diddling Monica Lewinsky, and that way he could lie to the people and he was not held accountable for that.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I mean, you're rattling all these things off, which may be true. I'm not in argument with that.
Okay.
But why would they be concerned about that now when Trump was already in office and that none of that got exposed prior?
Okay, because, and we've already discussed this, Trump was given bad information. Hire Christopher Wray. Christopher Wray, the director of the Federal Bureau of Intelligence, was recommended to him by very well-meaning senators and congressmen. They said he was the perfect guy for the job. He's a piece of shit.
Okay. So you're saying that Trump's going to come in there, wipe the whole slate out.
Yep.
Bring in people worth of shit, and they're fucked.
Yep.
Use the language, but
yeah. There's not going to be any of this Rod Rosenstein bullshit, deputy attorney general. We're not going to get another fucking Jeff Sessions. We're not going to get a Bill Barr. We're going to get an outside individual that Trump knows that has all of the credentials that will be confirmed by the Senate. Because here's the thing, when the Senate, when Chucky Schumer votes no to confirm and makes up all those lies like they did about the Supreme Court justices, that fucking debacle, it ain't gonna float this time. Because
so here's the argument against that favors me. So if that's the case, if they're worried about that getting exposed, why would you keep Biden in there? You need to find another candidate because he's not going to win.
They've got to find another candidate. They don't have anyone that has been so entrenched in the Democrat machine as Joe Biden.
So they're just going to stick with Joe, and if it doesn't work out, then they still get exposed and they're screwed.
Well, the problem is there's a faction of the Democratic Party that just wants power. They weren't involved in all of that other bullshit. So
all the raping of their sisters and brothers and cousins. And
AOC has never been to Epstein Island. Ilhan Omar, who represents Somalia in the great state of Minnesota, has never been to Epstein Island. Thank God we've got rid of Bowman, the fire alarm puller. He's out.
Well, maybe hold on. You say Omar was never there. Maybe not there as an adult, but she could have been there as a child.
I know, no, because she was catching fish and sorting the pirate booty from all of the ships that they were confiscating over off of Somalia. But
and I know you guys just mentioned Monica Lewinsky just a short time ago. Like just the other day, I saw a story from the Hill. I sent it to James on Twitter DM, and I just sent it to you just now, Scooter. That, she said something about like Judge Eileen Cannon should be impeached because she gave the prosecution like Jack Smith a dressing down, and she went on the record, saying the things that she said. That's a clear indication to me that she's endorsing Biden's reelection. And talk about that being a slap in the face to the other, Clinton abuse victims like Juanita Broderick, Paula Jones, Jennifer Flowers, and Kathleen Willey.
Exactly, and she's got things to hide too, and she is such an astute scholar of the Constitution.
Monica is no saint by any means.
Oh no, she's not.
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you. BP has a fantastic little quote over on Podbean. He said, "With AOC's horse teeth, she might not have been to Epstein Island, but I'm sure she's been to the Kentucky Derby."
Exactly.
Oh my Lord.
Exactly.
That's fantastic.
All right, but
so what happened the last time? I know we're kind of going off script here, but so the last time that a president chose not to run for a second term, do you remember that?
Lyndon Baines Johnson. I was there.
Oh yeah, you were there, weren't you?
Yeah. He gave a speech. I will neither accept nor will I seek the nomination of my party to be the candidate for presidency. You know why?
Why is that? Why did he bow out?
Because he was a piece of shit and he fucking got us involved heavily into Vietnam and was killing off all of our kids.
Oh, gotcha.
He was listening to Secretary of Defense McNamara and just sending more bombs and more people over there, and he got the CIA involved in evergreen flights, and they were shipping drugs out of Cambodia and Thailand and all other places. And he was the most unpopular modern day president that we've ever had.
But they're saying, I was reading a report here, and it said that there was a misconception that LBJ opted not to run again due solely to the growing controversy and divisions over the war in Vietnam that may have been a part of it, but his principal concern was his health. That's what I read.
Oh, okay. Well, they can spin it anyway.
I'll continue with the quote. He said, quote, he had a nearly fatal heart attack in 1955, and his family had a history of fatal heart disease. He didn't want to put the country through the kind of crisis we had gone through with the death of FDR in 1945 and Wilson's stroke in 1919, which left him incapacitated. So,
okay.
Anyways, but even in 1968, when he chose not to run,
right,
his party did not win presidency.
Nope, that's Richard Milhouse Nixon assumed the mantle of the presidency. And then they couldn't keep him in there because he was doing good things. He opened up China and he got the economy going, and we were drilling for oil, and we were going back to the prosperity of the 50s when, interestingly enough, Nixon was vice president under Eisenhower. Yeah, and he was bringing us back to that prosperity. So they had to jettison him, and so the CIA, I'm firmly convinced that they chose that Nixon would not be president again, even though he won a second re-election. He was that good of a president.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I was not around during that time, so.
Well, I was. Anyway, but as a matter of fact, the organization that the CIA created, the CREEP, the Committee to Re-elect the President. That's what they nicknamed their little re-election committee. So that was a big deal back in the 70s. Big fucking deal. But there's a lot of other people who are sitting at the top of the power structure that cannot afford for Joe Biden to disappear.
So you're gonna stick with that, regardless of the governors that come to the White House, regardless of all the bottom ticket candidates that are basically, they're sweating right now. They're worried, not particularly for Joe Biden, but for themselves.
Right. They're going to lose their little cash cow.
They might. In addition to that, they might be worried. They might be concerned that they don't get reelected themselves.
Exactly. And then they have to go actually do work or do something. They'll become consultants. Are you kidding me? They'll just sign on. They'll just move laterally out of Congress and into some consultant position, or they'll lobby.
Or they could be the leaders of all the silent protests that go around the entire country when Trump gets elected.
They could raise money for those. Yes. They could raise money for those, and in that way, they still have an economic capability in their lives, and they can send their kids to private school, and then they can still live behind their gated fences so nobody can get to them. But anyway, there's a lot of people that stand a lot to lose, and I believe, I'm going to say it out here in public, live, I believe they're going to do everything they can to rehabilitate Joe Biden's image.
I want to ask you, how do you think they're going to do that?
Well, okay, so if you go back and you look at history, you see that presidential images have been rehabilitated whenever there's been a crisis. Most notably, when there is a foreign crisis. When they blew up Khobar Towers over in Saudi Arabia. When they blew up the Marine Corps barracks in Lebanon. You see this all over the place, and I believe there's something that is going to occur internationally so that Joe Biden can try to stand up and be presidential. He can call in that bomb strike and bomb a baby aspirin factory in Libya, or they can take out the Khomeini in Tehran, or something of that nature.
Well, and you could be correct, because if recent memory serves me correct, and it's not as bad as Biden's memory, but if I recall correctly, every time we have a presidential election, right?
Correct.
Something happens.
Yep.
Hi, Trent Cat.
Something major happens. Last presidential election, you had COVID.
Right.
And I think a lot of people could agree that basically, potentially could have occurred on purpose, so the Democrats could do mail-in balloting.
Get back into power. Correct.
Get back into power.
Certainly.
Let's release something that will help out the Democrats.
Exactly.
And might kill millions of people. And it also gives an excuse to jab people with an unknown vaccine, supposedly.
Control them. Population control. Sure.
And here's the crazy thing. I just got finished watching I think it was a Korean movie, or a Korean episode. And I don't know if you watch any foreign, I don't know. It wasn't a movie, but it was more like a six episode season.
Right.
It was called The Black Knight. And basically it had to do with the government controlling the people and telling a certain portion of these people that we're going to move you guys over here into this encampment, and we're going to jab you with a vaccine to make sure you're safe and all that.
Yeah.
And people started dying. But we have conflicts every election cycle, I think. And I think I don't know. You think it's going to be foreign? I think if there's going to be a conflict that occurs, it needs to be domestic. You're saying foreign, I say domestic. I would like to hear what Eric or anybody else, if there were to be a conflict, is it going to be a domestic or international conflict? Eric?
What's that again?
Do you think they are going to perpetrate something domestically or internationally to make Biden look like a strong president?
Well, nothing really surprises me anyways, because I'm going to basically just remind people of things like, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, and Obama summed up best. If you really want somebody to fuck something up, Biden's your man.
Okay, so let's talk about Obama just for a second, because we've talked about things that have occurred that made presidents look strong. Now, everybody knows that Barry Soetoro Obama was a big, strong president. What happened at the end of his first term? Does anybody remember internationally what made Barack Hussein Obama look like a strong president to the citizens of the United States? Anyone? Anyone?
Well, there's no denying Obama had charisma.
Well, he had charisma, but here's the thing. He was not doing well in the polling prior to the 2012 election when he was reelected. You know what occurred on the 2nd of May, 2011?
What is that?
He killed Osama bin Laden.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Waved that flag, buried his body at sea. Nobody got to look at his body, but by God, he went over to Pakistan. He sent SEAL Team 6 in, and they came out with a skull, killed him. So we got our strong.
How do we know they actually killed him, though, if we didn't get to see the body?
Well, there's a lot of questions. Is actually, who was Osama bin Laden working for?
Well, and don't forget Hurricane Sandy in 2012 may have, helped his poll numbers too. And this is the same Barack Obama who worked with known domestic terrorists like Bill Ayers and his wife Bernadine Dorn.
Sure, Weather Underground, blowing up people, but that's okay. Mm-hmm. That's okay. But no, I think there's validity to people orchestrating events to help foster an image for individuals. See, here's the thing. Do you guys remember Soleimani, the terrorist from Iran?
Yeah.
Who happened to be in Afghanistan? Mm-hmm. And we took him out with a surgical strike?
Yeah, that was when Trump was in office.
That was when Donald J. Trump ordered that. Instead of saying that Donald Trump was presidential and he was commanding and he was doing good, they wore his ass out. How could you do that? That was a terrible thing. You killed one man and 4 people in a car on a highway outside of the Afghanistan airport. Nobody else got hurt. No civilians, no 16-year-old children died.
Yeah, but they're totally fine with us giving weapons to Israel and Ukraine and killing innocent people abroad.
Okay. I've got to walk back on the Israel thing, baby, because Israel is not generally killing innocent people.
Not purposefully. No, I'm not saying purposefully.
In war, shit happens. Innocent people die in war, but Israel goes.
But if the shoe was on the other foot, the Democrats would bring that up.
Well, certainly, if Trump was, Well, they secured him for moving the United States Embassy back to Jerusalem.
Totally, absolutely fine. That's the double standard.
Yep.
And the American people have succumbed to just being okay with that.
Right. That is correct.
So what's going to happen? Do you you're going to stick with Biden's going to be the Democrat nominee?
He is. He is not. They are not going to be able to get him out. They are not going to be able to get him out. There is nobody that can do anything. Right now, they're trying to float this fantasy that Michelle Obama could step in and beat Trump by 10 points.
I don't think Michael would have a chance.
I don't think Mikey could do it either. Nobody likes Mikey.
Yeah.
Well, and the whole the Joan Rivers thing ain't going away either.
The what? Joan Rivers.
She made disparaging comments about Big Mike, and she died.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That was 10 years ago.
Yep, of natural causes. But all right.
Is that all I have to do?
But before we get run out of time, all right. So we were talking about the lies that our buddy Joe Biden has told all through his life, all the way back to 1987, during his campaign in 2019 and 2020. Before that, when he was a senator, saying he got arrested for protesting during civil rights movement, and then during the 2020 campaign, he said he was arrested while visiting Nelson Mandela in South Africa. Turns out that was just a complete bald-faced lie. But we fast forward to the debate. Okay, and we got the debate here. Let's see if I got this all queued up here. I want you to listen to this. This is something funny that I came up with, but this is the CNN network going after Joe right after the debate. Take a listen.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question.
He's the only president in a while who didn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world. Troops have, of course, died on his watch.
Joe, you did such a great job.
He said he's put in a $15 per shot cap on insulin and Medicare. It's a $35 a month cap.
Joe, you did such a great job.
He said it's a $200 cap on overall drug spending in Medicare. It's $2,000 a year.
Joe, you did such a great job.
He said the border now has fewer crossings than when Trump was in office. That's generally not true.
Joe, you did such a great job.
He said, or at least strongly suggested, unemployment was at 15%. When he took office, it was actually 6.4.
Joe, you did such a great job.
He said Trump wants to get rid of Social Security. Trump doesn't.
Joe, you did such a great job.
He said billionaires pay 8.2% in taxes. It's much higher.
Joe, you did such a great job.
He said Trump told Americans to inject bleach amid COVID. We know Trump made foolish comments about scientists studying disinfectant injection, but didn't frame it as advice to people.
Joe, you did such a great job.
And Biden said the Border Patrol endorsed him. No, its union supported the border bill he supported, never endorsed him.
That's all he is. And I love, love how Jill treats him like a little kid. Good job, Joey. You get some ice cream. You answered all of the questions. And like BP said, he answered the questions, but
not correct.
Well, yeah, correct.
I mean, I think we would take, Maury Povich basically saying his favorite saying, and the lie detector test determined that was a lie.
Well, it's funny because right after the debate, everybody went into the spin room, all the Democrat representatives and everything. Trump just lied about everything. That's all he did. It was just one lie after another. Where in any of the mainstream media have they come out with something that pointed out Trump's lies? What did he lie about? He didn't lie about anything. I don't even think he exaggerated anything.
He did a great job by just letting Joe speak.
Yep. That's it. But
that's what he should have done the last time.
After all my years on this planet, the thing that I figured out is that if a Democrat is making accusations about another party, whether it's independent, RFK Jr., whether it's a Republican, Donald J. Trump, or anybody else, they're basically telling you what they are doing.
Yeah, and while you were away, I basically said the exact same thing. Everything that the Democrats accused Trump or any of the Republicans about are the same exact lies and bullshit that is on the agenda of the left.
Exactly. But I mean, just to go one step further, everybody's up in arms. Trump colluded with Putin and Russia. He's a puppet of Putin and Russia. But here's the bottom line of the facts. The United States Congress came back with a report, and it turns out that the CIA colluded with the Biden campaign.
Unbelievable.
People that are accepting payment from the United States citizens to do a job to protect us internationally were working with a candidate in a campaign for a presidential election, folks.
That's why when Trump gets the presidency, he needs to clean house. He needs to get rid of all the 3-letter acronym departments in the United States, and including the Department of Education.
Yes, no, everybody needs to, Department of Education needs to go away. Homeland Security, that needs to be dismantled. We do not need Homeland Security.
Well,
we've got the Border Patrol can go back to being their own entity.
Right, but what about, does Homeland Security deal more with the terrorism aspect of things? I mean, because the Border Patrol don't deal with terrorism.
No, nobody deals with terrorism. Are you kidding me?
That's why they're all here. And there's going to be a
domestic terrorism is supposed to be handled by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Terrorism that is international is usually dealt with by the Defense Intelligence Agency, the Central Intelligence Agency, the United States military.
What about the CIA?
That's Central Intelligence Agency,
international.
international.
I didn't hear that. Yeah,
the Defense Intelligence Agency, the Central Intelligence Agency, and the Department of Defense deal with terrorists internationally. They deal with wars internationally. There's
the CIA is going to have to deal with them internally, not just internationally, since they're already here.
Well, they are, but that's the FBI's prerogative and responsibility. Also, is a Secret Service. And we've got the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms who has a little bit of hand in that, because if they deal with weapons, they get involved with it. We have so many police agencies in the federal government, they don't even know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, that's true.
So, just saying. But I mean, here's the great thing: the news only gets worse for our friends on the Democratic side. This comes to us from the CNN, and this was right after the debate. So let's just take a listen to this. This will be great.
Do we have
Podbean,
new poll
you won't be able
numbers
to hear
for President Biden post-debate?
We do. You know, CBS News YouGov conducted some polling post-debate. We can compare it to the pre-debate numbers. And the bottom line, Alice, it's not any good. It's not any good. Look at this. Voters who say that Biden has the mental health to be president. It was just 35% pre-debate. Look where it's dropped to now post-debate, 27%. How about that he should be running for president? It was 37% pre-debate. It's now 28%. I have never seen numbers this bad for an incumbent president during my lifetime. I mean, that mental...
I'm excited. I really am. I really hope that you're correct. I hope that he does not bail out of this presidential race.
Well,
and life will be grand for at least 4 years.
You know what? I think hopefully Trump, being the business person and the marketer that he is, his strategy is long term. He's not thinking about the next 4 years and the last time that he can ever be president. He's looking at who's going to become president after him and so on and so forth. And who's going to run these agencies when he's gone? How are we going to prevent the deep state from burying themselves in like ticks?
Yeah, I think you have to eliminate the deep state. You need to, if... I'm not going to say it because I want to live another day, but you need to...
Yeah, you do. You want to live another
day. But maybe I know we're running out of time on Podbean. Maybe next time we can, who knows, maybe by next Wednesday we'll know some more information and we'll finally figure out who the VP nominee is going to be for Trump.
That is a great question. I'm wondering what do the betting sites have? Who are they pushing? Tim Scott? What are we looking at? Vivek?
Well, I have all that information, but unfortunately, our listeners will have to wait till next week to find out.
Next Wednesday. All right. So I have been promised by certain personalities that appear on Saturday nights on the Beans and Weenie Show is Doomed that there will be a Beans and Weenie Show is Doomed 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can bet that if it does, it'll be James will be here and I'll be here, and hopefully there'll be a one-legged guy and then a two-legged guy as well joining us for the show. So, if you will, mark that on your calendar. Saturday night ought to be fun. If it goes off, I know there's a big argument brewing between Spanky and I.
What's that?
It's called convenience store etiquette. Do you park your car in the gas line and then go get something out of the convenience store? Or is that
while the gas is pumping?
No gas. You just pull in there, park under the shade, run into the convenience store and grab your slushie or whatever it is that you're doing.
That's bullshit.
We're going to debate the tenets of that.
Unbelievable.
Spanky has his opinion. I have mine. And let me just tell everybody over here on Facebook, YouTube, and X, thank you for joining us this evening. We've had a great time. The other thing we're going to debate about, and you're going to be involved in this, tipping.
Like cow tipping?
No. Monetary tipping.
I wasn't sure you
like tipping
do
a
live in
waitress or a
Oklahoma.
waiter at a restaurant. No,
Everywhere you go, everybody's got their fucking hand out. Tipping.
You tip if you're picking up at a restaurant for takeout?
I'm not going to say anything. You got to tune in Saturday night. We will see who lands on what side of what coin for tipping. And let's see. Thank you, everybody over on Podbean. Hopefully, we will get these technical issues and the upgrade information worked out with Podbean, so that you can hear all the wonderful little things that we have available to you that we play. We're now getting the 2-minute warning.
Well, have an awesome 4th, gentlemen, and don't drink and drive.
Amen.
Amen. Don't drink and drive.
God bless everybody out there. Happy 4th of July. I don't know.
Thank you to our servicemen and servicewomen for the jobs that they do.
Thank you for the citizens for hanging around and paying taxes. Thank you for the people that go to work at Home Depot and that do the job day in and day out. For the people who walk on the blue line, on the red line, the firefighters, the EMS people. Thank you for being an American citizen.
Yes.
If you're an illegal alien, do better. Become a citizen. Do it the right way. Other than that, I got nothing for you.
All I got is have a happy 4th of July, and God bless America. And things seem to be going the right direction for us. And I hope everyone enjoys their holiday tomorrow. Barbecue some shit. And if you live here in Las Vegas, don't barbecue a damn thing. Just stay indoors.
Turn the air down. Man, I got like 26 pounds of meat. I got a barbecue for Spanky tomorrow.
What did you go buy a cow?
Half a cow.
Oh my God.
Half a cow.
Adios, amigos.
Take care, brother Podfather. We
Good
love
night,
you.
everybody.
Take care.
It's time to turn out the lights.
Yeah. Good things are always in it. No, he catered. He asked me to cater his 4th of July extravaganza. So I'm doing pulled pork.
Oh, so he can have you go work for him, but he can't show up for a fucking show.
He can show up for a show, yeah. I may put something special in his brats. I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, shove some hot dogs down his throat.
Well, I don't think he can handle it. He's not that good. I don't think that'll work for him.
All right. With practice, he'll become a pro. That were some great final words for Podbean.
That was perfect. That was awesome.